Is Scarcasm Live. I'm Crucial Chase.
I had a question.
What?
I had a question. Do I not host anymore at all? I know, like I said, I wanted you to like pick up sometimes, but like for the last few times, you just been doing it, and I've just been kind of sitting here like, okay, I guess the show started, but like, do I not host?
Well,
Is that what this is?
I've been trying to like get used to it. Getting my intro voice in, because I can't be like, well, I guess we're starting. I'm Crucial. Wait a minute. Let me say the name of the show. We're Scarcasm. Uh, hi. Do you guys have lotion?
Yeah, but it's like, oh, see, you brought the lotion thing back. See, but see, I noticed that. I wonder if anybody else did, but I mean, of course, I want you to do this because when I actually retire from this, uh, I want you to I want you to take it. Like, I'll still do all of the stuff on the back end, but like when I retire, which as of right now, I'm thinking my retirement is going to be February, on the 10-year anniversary. I think that's going to be my bow out. Because it's been 10 years. I can find other things to do with myself.
Like
Which
painting?
like painting or just running the whole show from the background. You know what I mean? So like all of that kind of stuff. Because the biggest issue that I have right now,
Does background mean editing?
I can edit. I mean, I never really thought about stopping editing. I wanted some help sometimes, but like since we record this thing basically through you, you have taken the editing. Like I was doing the editing just fine before.
Yeah, I'm cool with the editing, man. Editing
Yeah.
is kind of in my blood. Because that's actually what I wanted to go to school for, is like video editing and stuff. Because everyone was like, "Oh man, editing's so boring. It's my least favorite part," and I was like, I kind of like it. Does that make me weird? It's kind of fun.
No, I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, I like it because I don't have to do it. And like, I'm always like, as soon as this thing is over, I typically walk away from my computer completely. So I don't think about the shit. Like, tomorrow I got to go to work and stuff like that. And while I'm at work, I'm not thinking about this shit. And I'm not thinking about, oh, I got to edit the show or anything like that. Not that it takes really that much to edit the show. Like, it's not that complicated. But so I just when I was editing, like it would be 2 or 3 days later before I go, oh shit, I forgot to edit the show. Um,
Would you like to edit
so
the show if we had a bunch of different um things you had to do, like putting in songs and putting in interludes and putting in editing out curse words and putting in interviews and having everything like meshed together like a song?
I've done that before, but it just took too long. And then like what happened to me was when I first started off, I started off listening and to a lot of like gaming podcasts, and those gaming podcasts, like one of the main ones I listened to was Gamertag Radio, and he would go in and edit like everything. It took him a while to edit his episodes because he would edit all the ums and ahs and all that shit. Like he would go in and do all of that. So when I was learning how to do this, like I was doing that, but it just took forever to edit a podcast, especially because I say quite a bit. So like it just took way too long to do and trying to do all of this stuff. And then I was on an episode of The Black Guy Who Tips. And that just changed everything for me because after the show was over, that episode was up in minutes. And I'm like, did you take the time to edit anything? He was like, nope. Because I started the recording right when the show started. I ended the show, and this is exactly what it is. This is what it's going to be. And he takes the file, put it in the edited file. I mean the edited thing in Audacity or whatever he was using, and encodes it and uploads the show. Like he didn't do any of that, And that's where I was just like, yo, and he's so successful at it. Like, you know, I guess on a level, like he is just as successful or more successful than the most success I've seen at that time, which was Gamertag Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has turned his into his job. Like, you know, he got laid off from work. And then he put the time in, and he always had a dedicated following. And, you know, they donated a lot of money. So he just got a subscription service. He figured out how to do the subscription service while he was still getting his severance package. And like, he registered his as an actual job for himself and his wife, and like he podcasts full time. And like, and so I'm like, if he is this successful and he doesn't edit a thing, why am I going through and editing all of this stuff? Like, at the end of the day, I'd rather be way more like the Black Guy Who Tips than Gamertag Radio.
Right.
And you know, there's other reasons why I would feel that way. A lot of gaming podcasts that I listened to in the beginning, they lasted so long, and they've had fans for so long, that a lot of times when they're talking to each other, they are talking to that small group that's been around since the beginning. And it feels like they're just talking to themselves, and I feel like I'm outside of the conversation.
Right.
But my favorite podcast, like I've said this many times, my favorite podcasts mostly sound like it's a conversation between friends.
Yeah.
You know, like, and those are the podcasts that I typically dig, with the exception of like a couple podcasts that I actively listen to, that are like big time, like the ESPN type stuff. But like, even the ESPN type stuff,
Right.
especially like Lebitard and the Bomani Jones and stuff like that, that sounds like a conversation between friends. Even though Bomani's show, he's mostly by himself.
Yeah.
Which I've done that before. That is a real hard thing to do. Like the doing a whole episode by yourself.
You can do it better than I can. Did you listen? Did you listen to the part where I filibustered?
No, I don't listen to the show.
Yeah, I didn't know if you went back and listened to that part.
I never listen to shows I'm on. It's not even like a, you know, some people say they do it as like a quality control measure, but like, I know that I am like hypercritical of me, and if I listen to me, I would get on my nerves. So I never listen to podcasts that I'm on. When I edit, I you know, unless there's something in the middle that I know I have to look out for, like if there was a mess up with Skype or whatever, the recording or something of that nature, that I know I need to look out for, I will. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I never listen to myself at all, and because I don't want to be critical of myself. I want to just be here and have a conversation and just be able to walk away from it, which is different than a lot of people, but it's just how I am about it. Like I said, when I first started, I wanted to be Black E. The guy E from Microsoft that used to be at Microsoft. I wanted to be like him because he was on Major Nelson's podcast, but it wasn't his podcast. He just kind of showed up, talked, and then left, and Major Nelson did pretty much everything else. That's what I wanted to be like. I wanted to be like a permanent guest host. But I had so many people saying, I want to listen to you, like you should do a podcast. I did a podcast, but I never expected, one, for it to last this long, and two, for me to be the host of a show. I never wanted to be this. Never.
Well, if you retire, I've been thinking about it to where if, you know, if it's just like me and Sam, or, you know, another co-host, if, you know, if Sam can't do it.
I would think that over the course of this year, we need to find another co-host that isn't monotone. Because like
I'm
you're pretty stinking monotone, and Sam is too. So we need to have somebody that's less monotone, somebody that's prone to get more excited about this shit. I need somebody that's excited about this shit. So I'm not
I could
saying,
get more excited if the kids aren't asleep.
man, fuck them kids. Like it's this is what we do. Really?
Yep. The I was thinking about having it be like, because I don't want it like completely take over Scarcasm. You know what I mean? I'd rather it be like Scarcasm presents.
I had always wanted to change the name. I got stuck with Scarcasm because I had named everything Scarcasm already,
Mm-hmm.
but I always wanted to change the name to Geeks Gone Raw Radio. I always like the whole problem with changing it is
The feed.
like the feed and all that kind of stuff. It all has Scarcasm, and then like the whole Scarcasm live thing, which really kind of got fucked up once I realized that the live thing wasn't going to work for me at the time.
Right.
Because the original plan for the show was for me to do it on TalkShoe live every week, and when it wasn't live, then I was like, maybe I should change this, and then I I tried to figure out another way to do it, but it was, everything was already Scarcasm Live. So when I did the feed over, I just called it Scarcasm Podcast. If you look at it, like, I think the Libsyn, once I switched over to Libsyn, it's just called Scarcasm Podcast. It's not really called Scarcasm Live.
Right. It's just it was still Scarcasm Live on the icon that had, you animated. That's the only thing that really says Scarcasm Live anymore.
Yeah, and then what I tried to do was I tried to come up with a compromise. I tried to think of like an acronym for live, and I got like real close, but everything that I tried to come up with for the acronym didn't quite sound right. So like I left it alone. But when I type Scarcasm Live a lot, I will capitalize the letters in live.
Laughter and vaginas, everyone.
But you didn't say the I.
Oh, laughter in vaginas, everyone.
You know what? That's what I thought. I was like, that doesn't sound right. But you know what? Fuck it. So yeah, and then I started working. This is what made me realize that I have too much shit that I have my name attached to. Uh, I started working. I started working really on the Patreon. It isn't live yet. I'm still working on it because I'm still trying to figure out how to put the different things at the tiers and like how to create the tiers. I really wish that I could just create all of the tiers, all of the stuff that's included in the tiers, and then put this here, put that there, put this here, put that there. But that's not exactly how it works. But I realized that like we have the Scarcasm Live.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Geeks Gone Raw is the website. We have the Geeks Gone Raw universe page. I have the painting page. I have the cookie page. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff needs to be included in that. You know what I mean? Like I really I don't know how to make something that encompasses everything, and I would like to encompass everything on the Patreon because the benefits to it should be something that encompasses everything. Like the top tier, I wasn't thinking about going anything past $20 for the top tier or whatever, but the top tier was going to include the cookies. Like if you chose, you could choose the cookies, and I'll make the fucking cookies for you. Like that type of stuff. Like all of that needed to be included, and it all needed to be included in a way that was clear, because it's not like I really want to do like something crazy with the Patreon. Like I want to be able to, I want to be able to pay for the hosting. Eventually, I would like to be able to do that, the vape box thing where they send me devices and shit every month. not just juices, but devices and shit every month so that I can review them because I would like to do that. Oh yeah, that's another thing. My personal YouTube channel or the painting YouTube channel or the Geeks Gone Right Universe YouTube channel is going to start getting vape reviews. So like, you know what I mean? Like, so now we're back there. All of this stuff, and that's the reason why I'm looking forward to walking away from the podcast because I still got a whole bunch of other shit to do. You know what I mean? I have a bunch of other things I can do. And then like gameplay videos, which like no one's watching the Prison Architect stuff. Like I understand this, but I love it. And I'm going to keep playing. And I'm going to keep recording videos until someone pays attention. Y'all motherfuckers need to pay attention. But I'm trying to help y'all. You know what? You know what I did with Prison Architect? I sidetracked myself. I know I just did that. I realized this Prison Architect is on the Switch, and I'm like, holy shit! I can play Prison Architect when I'm at work. That's awesome. But one, it's the console version. Two, on the Switch, that shit is $30 and I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Not fucking today. Not at all. I to this day I have not paid that much for Prison Architect, the different versions that I have, and I will never spend $30 even on a game that I love that much, especially if it's the console version. Absolutely fucking not.
Well, maybe I should put something on the site.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna put on the site?
Well, I was thinking about like I do the Humble Monthly, right? And I get all these weird games that I never played. So I was thinking just like pick a random fucking game that I have on Steam that is from the Humble Monthly and just be like, I'm playing through this weird ass shit.
You know what? I told you that I was going to play something new,
Mm-hmm.
and I absolutely did. I finally played something new, damn it. And I have not, even though the beta is live. I know my leg is on my desk and it keeps moving the camera. But
That happens a lot. Like you're always bouncing.
Because my leg is crossed and like it's leaning on my desk but it's crossed at the same time. I gotta be better about that. But shit, I just lost my train of thought because of that. I saw the camera moving up and down. I was like, fuck.
You playing something new.
Oh yeah, I played something new, and I said I was gonna play something new, and I played something new, and it's fucking weird because I played it on the Switch, and playing games on the Switch is really cool. If I'm playing PlayStation stuff on the side, if I'm playing Xbox stuff, everything is fucked up because of those buttons. Like everything. I think the game that I played, I would probably play a lot more if I was playing an Xbox version. Because I've still been playing a lot of live. And so I've been playing a lot on my Xbox, but like switching to the Switch has been very difficult. Luckily the game that I've been playing is not like a lot of like I have to press this button like right now. There's some of that, but there's not a it's turn based. You muted your microphone.
Persona, isn't it?
Huh?
It's Persona, isn't it?
On the Switch?
Yeah. Oh yeah, never mind.
Like for real? Like I said it was on the Switch. Like what are we talking about here? So yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, man, how's your week, man?
It's been pretty good, man. A friend of ours came over while we were podcasting last weekend. Was Amber's friend Nicole, but I had to go get her. But which is cool. I like driving. I get to listen to a bunch of podcasts and stuff. And it was weird. Down where she lives, which is down near the beach and stuff, it was snowing its ass off down there, but not here. I was like, okay, this is strange. But
I've heard some people down from home talking about snow, and I'm like, it was 71 here.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of cool. We I don't know if I talked about got some new phones. got the Pixel 3.
Remember what we talked about, Chase?
I ain't talking about shit. I'm just telling you about the
I'm just,
Pixel
I'm
3.
just, I'm just, I'm just reminding you that we talked about. You could talk about your Pixel. You could talk about how much you like it or whatever. Don't go too far. Okay.
Just the
Okay.
tip. Just put the tip in.
You just put the tip in to the ear right now.
Okay. But yeah, the Pixel's been pretty cool. We went in kind of wanting to do iPhones and stuff, because I don't know, Amber's kind of like interested in iPhones. She wanted something different, and then but we were kind of wanting an older iPhone, right? Because the newer ones are like super fucking expensive, and I've heard the 6 is actually pretty legit even still today, but they didn't have any
The
6.
6 ain't they on 10?
Yeah, they're on
you
10.
you can't get an 8. Like, damn, dog. You want to go all the way back to a 6.
But
Here's
I looked at reviews and stuff, and like the 6 was still pretty good, but they didn't have any of those, and if they did, it would be they'd have to order it, and then it was still more expensive than getting the Pixel 3, which was a brand new phone. So we went with the Pixel 3s, and they've been pretty cool so far.
Y'all both got Pixels?
Yep.
I see your text money.
Hey, you're forcing me to put more than the tip.
I'm just saying.
This is not consensual, Scar.
You saying we got the Pixels, so I'm like, oh, y'all both got the Pixels, because I didn't know that. That's a part of this that I did not know.
But I'm liking it pretty good. The camera's legit, man. The camera is like really freaking good, which is crazy. I was looking through some of our old pictures. I remember when they first come out with like phones with cameras on it, right? I had like one of the Nextels that you hit the little button that goes. And,
I used to work for Nextel.
But I remember thinking, well, the camera's cool, but the cameras on the phones are not nowhere good as my digital camera. Like, wouldn't it be when the cameras on the phones would be just as good as my digital camera? And at that time, I had a digital camera that was 0.5 megapixels, which was 800 by 600 pictures. And that was like good. When our first smartphones were 0.5. That was 2009. The Pixel is like 12 megapixels. That's like over 12 times more resolution than my old digital camera. So I think we matched that. But,
my first digital camera was a 3 megapixel. Then I got one that was a 5, and that 5 was fucking everything at the time. That 5 megapixel was everything. Then I got one that was 8, but I think my DSLR is a 6 megapixels. Like, it's been so long since I had that thing, and I barely use it. But I think my DSLR is a 6 or an 8. But I had a Kodak camera that's a 8, and I love that thing a lot. But that Kodak camera that was a 5, and it had the optical zoom as opposed to the digital zoom. Oh my god, it had an optical 10x
that's
zoom.
one thing that the phones still don't have is optical zoom is always better, because it's not gonna because the digital zoom is basically just gonna zoom in your pixels.
It's just cropping.
It's gonna always look blurry. When you zoom with the opticals, it's basically using the lenses, and it's gonna always look good. But what's weird is back in 2014 or so, we got LG G2s, and that has a more megapixels than the Pixel 3 does now. But the Pixel 3 is technically a better camera because of what it can do with lighting and stuff and whatnot. So it takes better pictures, even though, because that camera was a 13 megapixel camera. But the Pixel, it's low lighting, how it can do, like, it can blur out backgrounds. It's literally a smart camera. Like, it can like know that that's a person. Don't blur out everything else. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's you know, the good thing that's the only reason why I would want an iPhone, because those cameras are fantastic on those.
Oh, well, the
But
video on the Pixel is 4K.
and they can do a lot. I don't know if mine does. Mine probably doesn't. But I I I realized that I don't take enough pictures with my phone for it to really matter that much. But then I started recording all of my painting videos are recorded on a phone. Is recorded on my old phone. Um, and and I just got a little thing that you put on a tripod and you just slide the phone in. And I realized that I probably want something better in the long run, but for right now, that thing works great. And even the couple of videos I recorded with this is a LG Stylo 4 that I got in September. This records like really great videos that I can use for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I really want to record 4K videos, because shit, once it's time to encode a video that's 1080p, do you know how fucking long that takes even on my computer? Like, holy fuck, that shit takes a long ass time just to encode a video.
Right.
So, all of my videos are, for the most part, all of my videos are recorded in 720, because most people are looking at it on their phones and shit, and it really don't matter if it's 720 on your phone.
Right.
But yeah, I'm yeah, the iPhone camera stuff is like really super interesting. I just I just don't want to pay for I just don't want to pay iPhone prices.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. Like,
Yeah,
I just
because
don't.
even getting an older one was still like more than, like, iPhones are always the most expensive phone.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because it's not like they have all of the features that the Samsungs and everything else has. It's just like you're it's like Jordans, like you're paying mostly for the name. Like these shoes, when they're getting made, they're like $20. Like, you know what I mean? But like when they come to the store, they're $250, and you're like, why am I just paying for a name? So that's really like my thing of why I realized a long time ago that I don't necessarily need the most expensive thing in order for me to be happy. I think it makes me more
It
happy.
it's
It
always
makes
good to go in the middle. Like, don't get the
Yeah.
cheapest thing on the shelf, but you don't have to get the most expensive thing on the shelf. Sometimes the middle ground is great. Like,
And the 360 taught me that I don't have to be first. Like, you know what I mean? The 360 taught me not to fucking be first on any of these electronics. You know what I mean? So like because like I worked, like I said, I was working at GameStop when the 360 launched, and the assistant manager of the GameStop that I work at, his box red ring that first day, but like no one knew what it was at the time. So he just thought, oh, he got a defective box. So he called Microsoft. They replaced it in the story. We didn't really realize that the red ring was going to be that big of an issue until later. But yeah, that shit red ring the first day. So yeah, You know what? Let's shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about the game I've been playing.
okay.
I finally started playing South Park Fractured Butthole.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I started playing. It is an RPG,
Uh huh.
and it is a turn-based RPG. Which, like I said, I don't really play a whole bunch of turn-based RPGs, so this is all like brand spanking new to me. But I think I'm kind of enjoying it so far. It's
It
a little weird because like you start off the game by creating a new character. Like you're not playing. I mean, eventually you unlock some of the characters from South Park to fight along with you as a part of your party, but your character has fart based powers. I don't know, like your character has fart based powers, but I chose I chose a character, and here's the thing: the really weird thing when you're creating your character, um, the darker you make your character, the more difficult the game is.
I heard about that.
So I'm Nepoing it. Well, I think I'm Nepoing it. So my character is the lightest it could possibly be because I don't know how to play this game, so I have to Nepo it now. But like I can't make a black dude,
So
which I think there was a.
is
I
Nepo
think
going
there's
to
a way around
change? I just figured it out, man. We're always trying to figure out how can we make Nepo a way that you can say it for everybody else.
No,
Don't even say Nepo.
I never do that.
Don't even say Nepo. For you say Nepo, but I say white privilege mode.
Okay. But no, because I think there it tells you that in the beginning when you're selecting your character and the color and stuff like that. But when you get to your first fight, they do ask you what difficulty that you want the fight to be. So I think that's just a way of them just digging at you because there's a lot of like jokes and like it's very South Park. Let's be honest. It's super South Parky. And in everything, it's very South Parky. And I enjoy that part of it. The South Parkiness. No, I'm not making that the show title. Even though I probably should. But I enjoy the South Parkiness of it. But I realized that I played this game and I've seen all of the characters, but there's one missing. And I ain't watched South Park in a long time. But I wonder where the hell is Kenny? Because Kenny is nowhere to be found in this game so far.
I don't know.
I played a decent little chunk, and there's a part where you go see the priest dude from South Park, and oh my god, it's like holy fuck, this is so South Park. You go see the priest dude, and he tells you that you need to go in this closet to be, whatever's in this closet is to face your fears. It's the Star Wars thing, the cave. Star Wars. You face your fears in here, and that helps you. But you face your fears, and he puts you in the closet. He closes the door, and there's two priests in there, and they go, "This is all a part of your imagination. Like I'm gonna rub your shoulders, and then the priests are one of the priests is his attack. When he's prepping for his attack, he pulls and he enjoys pulling rosary beads out of his ass. This is in the game. Like this is actually a part of the game. And like one of them gets really excited and he's like swinging his rosary beads around and shit. It's really fucking weird. And then like when you win that battle, like the priest comes back and opens the door. It's like, I just can't put a kid in here without your asshole showing up. Like we got to be better than this, like that type of thing. But it's so far like I'm learning how to play a turn-based RPG, which is it's had its ups and downs so far. They all have like different skills or whatever, and your attack, each of your attacks is all on a grid. I don't know if all turn-based are on a grid, but
No.
this one's on a grid. Okay. This one's on a grid. So like you have to think about your character placement on the grid because their attacks are in different directions or whatever from that point on the grid.
Yeah,
So,
normally those type are called tactical RPGs.
Okay.
So like Final Fantasy Tactics would be one of the original ones to do that.
One of the ones on the grid. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like I said, I don't really play these kind of games, but I'm really kind of enjoying this one outside of the buttons. If the buttons were 360 buttons, would it not feeling like it's all reversed? I would be a lot better off because one of the things is like you press the button to do you press the whichever attack you're getting ready to do, you press the button, and then you have to press A in some way, shape, or form to start. But you press A, and then it may be a few different things of how you activate your power. It could be one where you just press A, and then the circle closes on the A, and you have to press A when it gets in close to the button, like the circle closes, like a timing the button press. Or it may be multiple button presses that it's like three of them, like for the character that I'm using, and one of the things is three of them, and you have to press A three times on the button the right way, and then or one you just got to tap A, and it builds up a power meter, and then it does the attack. But here's the thing: if I let go of the controller, I go to press A, and sometimes I'm pressing A in the wrong place. I'm pressing B instead, and fuck the whole thing up. So, and then like when they attack you, you have a way to recover faster and like absorb some of the damage, but that requires you to press A, and it also builds your super meter or whatever for your super attack. And but that requires you to press A when they attack you at a certain time. And sometimes I'm not actually pressing the real A, which it's unfortunate. I really wish there was a way that we can switch that around, but I guess not.
But yeah, what kind of showed me that the turn-based thing is actually kind of cool, like what was made me kind of stand off of it is that they're gonna have a turn and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, how am I supposed to know what they're gonna do? And then but you also have a turn too that they can. So when I'm trying to figure things out, it's not a split 7-second decision. I can actually think about what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, to me, it's
And
a little bit more calming to where I can sit down and not have to like just be on. Like that
yeah,
when I talk about that Call of Duty on, like I can play
yeah,
longer at a
yeah.
time in a game like that.
And then they in South Park, some of the attacks are telegraphed. Like I said, the one priest, when he pulls the rosary beads out of his ass, that he is wasting a turn to charge that up.
Mm.
And the squares where his attack is going to go are highlighted there for a turn, and they don't activate until his next turn.
So you would know to get out of that area.
If you can. So that's pretty cool. My biggest problem is like the super moves or whatever like that. I I typically end up getting the super move on the wrong character. Like, I want to use my super move as the character that I am because it has a larger area of effect, but it always ends up on like Jimmy. And Jimmy's super move, like, it's really awesome, but it's a straight line. It's a straight line in front and behind him. So I'm like, okay, I guess I just got to do anything with Jimmy just so I don't have to do this right now. But yeah, so far it's pretty cool. I have a full party. I have Jimmy, I have Kyle, and I have somebody else, not one of the main four. Not one of the main four at all, but yeah. And then you just walk into, basically just walk into people's houses and just go through all of their shit, just taking stuff. Like a typical RPG. Like, I always found that weird about like games like Mass Effect, where like you're somewhere and like before you leave, go through everything and steal as much shit as you possibly can. Like it's like I'm supposed to be like the most upstanding human in history of this place, but my whole goal is to walk up in here and steal as much as I possibly can because it's gonna help me later. You know what I mean? Like that's always felt a little bit weird to me. It is weirder in things like Bioshock, where like is worse because you're like going in the trash and shit. And, it's just odd.
Yeah. But at least in games like
Is
Skyrim,
there?
like
I'm looking at the. I don't know whether is my YouTube fucked up or is YouTube fucked up.
I saw it live on my phone. I just
Yeah,
checked it.
yeah, my screen isn't working. I guess my YouTube isn't working.
But with games like Skyrim and stuff, like if you go in someone's house, it would be like you're stealing this. If it's in like a dungeon, you can just take it.
Yeah, it's all just kind of odd, but like it's really funny because some places that you go into, when you go through the drawers, like you go into like the parents' room, and like you end up with some weird shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Especially if you go in Cartman's mom's room.
Uh-huh.
Because Carmen's mom is like a whore, and then like since your powers are all poop based, well, are all fart based. You go into each house, and there's some sort of like counting system where they're counting how many houses that you go into and you use the bathroom because there's like a mini game of you pooping in these people's houses. But like pooping in these people's houses is getting you crafting material. It's all just super weird. And then like the only outside of South Park thing, the character that I've met, that's like based off of a real person. They have a Morgan Freeman character that runs the burrito place, and you basically craft your own like burritos for like health and such. Like it's a little weird. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Well, I've been playing that a lot, and of course, I'm still playing live. Um, my DC TV's shows are back, so that's awesome. Um, well, some of them are back, and I'm still watching The Handmaid's Tale, and I finished the first season, and I don't know, like it has up and down moments, but there's some parts where there's just really not anything happening. And I was talking to the fellas on the Dream Team earlier, and they were talking about they both tapped out, like after one after a few episodes, the one after the first season. But I feel compelled to figure out what's going on with these people. Like I really do. But so far it's been a pretty decent experience. But like it's like interesting, but it's kind of depressing at the same time because you can absolutely see that there is a path to whereas what happened to their country could happen here.
Their country is our country.
Not anymore. Their country is Gilead. It's not the United States anymore.
Gilead?
Gilead.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a completely different situation, and it's basically if religious fundamentalists took over our country, took over the government, and you could see how something like this could happen. And like the book originally came out in like the 80s. I think the book that is based off of came out in the 80s.
Right.
Yeah,
But yeah, I've been still chugging along in Witcher 3.
I saw.
That's been pretty legit, man. I love the writing and how the like everyone talked about the Bloody Baron quest and like, oh, have you got past the Bloody? I thought it was like this badass boss or whatever. No, it's just fucked up. I'm not gonna spoil anything. It's just fucked up.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, it's weird, man. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I really enjoyed Witcher 2 back in the day, and I was wondering why everyone's like all about Witcher 3 when they weren't really about Witcher 2. Playing through Witcher 3, I'm like, yeah, Witcher 3 like blows Witcher 2 out of the water. So
Okay. I bought two when it came out on 360, and I played through the beginning. I played part of the beginning when I was at PAX one year, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome!" But it was a part of the beginning, and it was just one of those things. Like I said, one of those things where I played through the beginning. I got to the part where everything kind of opens up and you could just do whatever, and then I stopped playing for about a week or so, and I went back and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
That
So I just
happens
stopped.
with pretty much every open world game. Like if you're playing a game like that,
Not with like a Grand Theft Auto or a Saints Row or something like that. I fall right back in and I know exactly what I'm doing. I think I just have an issue with doing this with like fantasy stuff, because the same thing happened to me with uh Mordor, the first one.
yeah, yeah, I never finished that. I actually have, what is it, Shadow of War?
I have both actually. I have access to both because because of Blue on the PS4. Uh, and I bought the original from GameFly because it was like super cheap at the time. And it's is one of those things where I played, like I said, I played a bunch, and then I stopped playing for a little bit, and when I went back, I had no idea what I was doing.
Right. But yeah, I dug the game, but I just kind of stopped one day, and then same thing, just couldn't get back into it after that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those things where I'm just gonna have to start over completely. But see, but here's my thing. It might be one of those games that I play, that I start over just so I can have something to talk about on the show, like South Park, because I've had South Park for a while. I bought it when it was like super cheap. It was like $15 for
Mm-hmm.
the Switch, and nothing is that cheap on the Switch. Fuck it, like I said, Prison Architect is 30. So I I might just try to restart it or try to do something like that. But like the question at that point is, after I play it for the show, am I going to stop again? I think what I'm going to play for next week, I think I'm going to try, if they have multiple save slots, which they should. I'm going to play Detroit Become Human before the next show, because I mean, my daughter was playing and it seemed like super interesting. It's very much an allegory for black people. Like, ooh boy, like it's a very much an allegory for black people. Like the 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 androids trying to gain their humanity in the face of people that don't seem to want to grant them that. It seems like a very much an allegory for black people, but I know my daughter has no idea what any of that stuff means, but it's very much that. But it seemed really interesting, and I hope that I at the very least I stick with that, because whenever I started, I know that I want to finish that. There's a lot of sections of that are really small,
Mm-hmm.
which will make it easier to do. But it's yeah. I don't know what's going on, but my YouTube is the screen on my YouTube is completely white, and I clicked on another video and it's working fine. I don't know what's going on with this. Go to your YouTube page and see if it's actually up, because my okay. I guess it's just my computer, because my screen is completely white on the computer.
That's weird, man.
Yeah, it is. It's super weird. Super weirdo.
Super weirdo.
Anything else you want to talk about? I'm sick of talking about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. I'm really sick of all of that. That's just all my social media pages. That's all they're talking about right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah. My whole thing was like, didn't we already know this? Like,
what Michael Jackson, the difference is, I didn't believe it.
uh huh.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't believe it. But apparently the guy, one of the guys in the Michael Jackson documentary is uber believable, we could say. and it makes you question a whole lot of things. And well, R. Kelly, we definitely knew all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely knew all of that. But I hate the whole like, what about this person and that person and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, what are we? Are we just going to cancel everybody? Is the biggest problem. Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to just cancel everybody that has anything in their past that's semi problematic? Uh, because this is it's gonna get way worse before it gets better.
Right. Well, I think they're kind of like wanting to be like, to where going forward, nobody that's fucked up is going to even get famous. Because we're in a social media world. But back when a lot of that shit was going down, like, like thinking like, well, it wasn't like this back in the 70s. Well, a lot of this shit was happening in the 70s and we're just now hearing about it. But it's because social media now, you can hear about things so much quicker, so it'll get worse before it gets better, but at some point it will have to get better, because we would the new standard or whatever will be just normal.
Yeah, hopefully. But it's one of those things to where it's like, there are people that have gone on, like Michael Jackson, that have gone on that got some really troubling things, and even like songs that people really love are super problematic. I'll give you two,
Okay.
and we'll move off of this. There's two that are like super problematic. Song number one, "Let's Get It On," Marvin Gaye, about a 14 or 15-year-old girl. Yep. That song is about a child. So now, do we stop listening to "Let's Get It On" also? And also on the other side, for people who don't care about "Let's Get It On," "Sweet Caroline," about a child, about a young Kennedy child at that. And like, there's some people like my ex father in law, because I guess "Sweet Caroline" has a thing with, there's something with the Red Sox or something like that. Like, he's a Red Sox fan, and he's super excited about "Sweet Caroline." But like, are you that excited that you're talking about a song where a guy is fantasizing about a child?
Yeah, because it's weird, because like a lot of that stuff is like say my grandmother was like 15 when she got married. She lied about her age to get married. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like, back in those days, like, people started freaking getting married so young. But now, like, people don't even get married at all.
Yeah. Or when they do get married, they don't stay married. Divorced dude.
Yeah.
So
So, but yeah, I think it's just a thing to where I don't think it's cool to like try to erase the past, but we can learn from it and just like go forward, like being like, because when people say, "Oh, they're trying to erase the past," and I was like, no, we're not trying to do that. We just think that certain things can be enjoyed behind a glass window in a museum versus, I mean, you know, you can listen to "Let's Get It On," and like, if you're not actually, you yourself isn't singing "Let's Get It On" to a 15-year-old girl, I think you're cool.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We should move on to something else.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else that we would like to talk about? You know what? I didn't really talk very much about having my daughter around, but that was awesome. And my daughter will be back around for a shorter amount of time next weekend, and hopefully I will go during that time. Depending on what's happening, I may go see Captain Marvel during around that time.
Cool.
And shout out to the people. Shout out to the people who were like, "I'm not going to see Captain Marvel. I hope this thing flops and blah blah blah, whatever." Like so this is a social justice warrior movie and all of this other shit. Yeah, about that is like the 6th highest grossing opener of all time. Of all time, dog. Like, yo, I thought y'all won't go see it. Like, I thought y'all didn't want to go see it.
It's because it's a vocal minority.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is vocal minority stuff, and people just kind of run with it, and it's like, what is you doing? Like, is this really what you need to do right now?
Because even when they're like railing about, social justice warrior, they're like pinning like anybody to the left as a social justice warrior. The crazy Reddit social justice warrior person is also a vocal minority. Like, not all feminists are like that. Not all.
Like people go off about this and I say this to two people in particular. That I say this sometimes about Knox, and I say this about my friend, my ex coworker, and he is like. Both of them are conservative. My ex coworker Corey is a very, very conservative, but he's not really a Trump supporter. But he's just like, hey, Trump won. Fuck it. I guess I got to roll with this. So, but he's still like super conservative. And I say like they get mad and they go like liberals this and liberals that, and this probably pisses the liberals off, like all of this other stuff. And I'm just like, I'm a liberal. This shit doesn't bother me at all. Like, because like when you start speaking about liberals, like you're speaking about the people that are far left. And like most of us are not way over there. Most of us are closer to the center. And some of us are not, like the people on the far left and the people who rail about everybody on the far right. Like, it's like, yo, you need to realize that there are people in between. Like, and there's a lot of people in between. In fact, most of us are in between. So like, I need y'all to just not just say like liberals. I need y'all to make sure that if you're talking about this shit, like I need y'all to go like, hey, it's far left. This is everybody over there that's on the ends, because the people on the ends are fucking crazy, and on both ends. Like I'm not gonna pretend like like it's normal to be like super one way or super the other way, but most of us are in the middle, and that's okay. But I need y'all to realize that there are people who are closer to the middle and they're not on the ends, and that's where most of us lie. That's where most of us are. We're not all the way on the extremes of this. Because it just
like
gets frustrating.
You're getting pissed off at the whole sandwich just because the crust is on it.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, like you use the end piece on the bread, and it's just like, fuck this sandwich. Like, it's still a sandwich. Like, it still got some boar's head on it. You know what I mean? You got some good cheese. Make got some mayonnaise for the people who like mayonnaise, but you're just like, fuck this sandwich just because there's an end piece. And I'm like, well, the end piece doesn't change the fact that the sandwich is mostly everything that's in the middle, right?
Yeah.
That's what a sandwich is. A sandwich is everything that's in the middle. That's what the country is. Our country is a sandwich, and like the extreme left and the end and the extreme right are the end pieces of bread that don't nobody want. That was a good way to put this. The extreme left and the extreme right are the end pieces of bread that don't nobody like.
Uh-huh.
You helped me come up with that. I appreciate you, dog.
I'm here for you, man. But yeah, it's just so weird because it's just weird, man. And I know that when Chavi was saying that everything's football, but it's further than that. Like I almost wish it was a little bit more like sports teams and stuff than what it is now. Cause like a Duke fan and a UNC fan can still be friends. You know what I mean? They might like differ and whatnot, but they're still gonna be friends. But people like take this stuff to heart, where like if you're a conservative, that means you are against everything that's inside of me. So by you being a conservative, you hate me.
Right. But sports fans get like that too. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, they
Well,
do,
sports
but
fans
like
get
it's
like
not.
it depends on who your rival is. There's some rivalries that are really like that. Duke and UNC, theirs is a rivalry, but they're too close together for it to really come to blows like that. But like Yank Sox or Cowboys skins or
Yeah, Yank sucks.
like
That's pretty hardcore. But we need to get more closer
and
to
like
Duke.
the Auburn, Alabama. Like that lady, there was a lady when Auburn beat them. Like there was a lady who like killed someone at her party because they weren't sad enough that the Alabama lost. Like this is real life. Like this actually happened a couple years ago when Auburn lost to. I mean, when Alabama lost to Auburn, like she was upset that they lost and that the people at the party were not as mad about it as she was. So she ended up killing somebody. Like this is real. This is real life.
Well, I
There's a guy who when they like this years ago there was a guy. Do you know anything about those trees?
those no.
Okay, so there's these trees in Auburn that every time these like really old trees, and like every time Auburn wins, they like toilet paper the trees. Now that's just a tradition. That's just what they do. I think it's kind of stupid. It's a waste of toilet paper, especially if it's some good toilet paper. Like you could use all of the one ply you want to, but all of anything Dollar Tree and up toilet paper, yeah, that's a waste of toilet paper, dog. Like for real. But some Auburn fans put a Cam Newton jersey on the Bear Bryant statue. And that incited a gentleman to put some poison, something that's designed to kill off trees into those trees. These are like over 100-year-old trees.
Mm-hmm.
And this Alabama fan was offended by that jersey being on Bear Bryant's statue, and he poured this poison into those over 100-year-old trees. Like I said, those nut jobs are there too. Like is in sports also.
Yeah, I was saying that we need to get closer to UNC Duke, a little bit further away from, that. But
yeah, the guy who poisoned the trees, let me see. Well, he ended up getting 3 years in jail for poisoning those trees. But there is I can't remember the guy's name, but like it's so real with him with like Alabama. Like he named his kids after like Alabama stuff. Like he has a child named Crimson, and he has a child named after Bear Bryant. Like he has a child like for like this. I'm telling you, it's like it's so this shit is so real. I'm trying to find his information, but yeah, and then the guy who poisoned the trees, he actually called the radio station. He called Feinbaum. Feinbaum is about that life down there. He called Feinbaum and told them that he poisoned the trees. Like it was a happy day for him when he did that shit.
yeah, I yes, it's weird, man. And I know
Guy,
that social media
okay,
plays
I'm
a
close to it. I'm close to it. I found out the guy's name.
okay.
The guy's name is Harvey Updike.
That's a yeah. But yeah, it's weird. I do believe that social media plays a part to where like, if if I'm conservative and you're liberal and we're playing video games, we're going to be playing video games. But then you go on our Facebooks and then we're posting all this weird shit all the time and they're conflicting, then we're going to piss each other off. But so if, like, the whole thing is like back in the day, you just didn't talk about that shit. You know, I believed what I believe and you believed what you believe, and we just would go out and play music and mosh or like play video games, and like you know, it didn't really affect each other, you know. And I think people,
Okay, I found it. I found it. His children are named Crimson Tide Updike and Bear Brand Updike, and his dogs are named Crimson and Nikki after Nick Saban. And he wanted to name his daughter Alabama Updike, but his wife forbid him. That's as real as it gets, dog. that's, that's as real as it gets. Alabama.
oh my goodness.
You've never
Have you
heard
seen
any
the
of this?
meme? Have you seen the memes to where it was like the Captain Planet memes?
Which ones?
To where it'd be like incense, racism, and stuff. And my with your powers combined, I am Captain Alabama.
You know what the best thing to ever come out of Alabama? Outside of us, outside of a couple people that I know, but like the best like media thing to ever come out is that the Roll Tide commercial.
Roll
The
Tide.
Roll Tide commercial is like the best thing to ever come out of Alabama. Like that commercial where they just roll tide and everything. It's like one of the best things. I don't know if it was an ESPN or whether it was a Nike one or whatever. I think it was an ESPN thing. Well, I know I saw it on ESPN, but the Roll Tide commercial is like the best commercial. One of the best commercials ever, and best things related to Alabama.
But man, we're a little over an hour. Would you like to start wrapping things up, or anything else you want to say?
Yeah, we could totally do that. Man, you know what? Thank you for thank you for checking us out, whether it's now or whether it's later on the feed and all the other places where I'm going to forget to upload the show. But when I do upload the show, thank you for checking it out. We appreciate everybody that's around. We're trying to get this format back to where a place where we love it, where it's more of a conversation as opposed to just breaking down each things that we're watching and playing and all of that stuff. Because to be honest, outside of the South Park thing, I'm kind of playing all of the same shit. So it's not really changing much. So I appreciate the time and the effort that we are putting into experiencing more of the landscape of the world in order to have different things to talk about. Because I just feel like, me personally, I just feel like I've been talking about the same things over and over again for quite some time. Even though I do want to play the Killing Floor beta. It's live on PC, and I want to play very, very badly. Oh, did you hear about what happened with Killing Floor?
Nope.
I guess they tried to put the beta. They tried to put the beta on Xbox because Xbox you can do betas and such,
Right.
and it didn't work. So they just gave all of the Xbox people double XP.
Hmm.
So I don't know how long double XP is going to last, but as of today, the 10th, my brother's birthday. What's up, bro? Um, the double XP is still live.
Cool, man.
Yep. So again, thank y'all. And we'll be back next week to talk about more good stuff. I'm gonna try to play something. Again, I'm gonna try to play something different, and it may be Detroit Become Human, or it may be something else. But
We need to play
by
some of
this
the
time,
Division on PC, man.
we do. We do.
Because I'm getting the Division 2 on PC because it came in my GPU.
That's coming out in like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably buy that. But see, here's the problem. I'm buying it on Xbox, and like everybody, like half of the people that I've been talking to say that they're gonna get it, but they getting it on PC. So
Yeah,
that's
I was going to get it on PC, or I was going to get it on Xbox, but since it was coming on PC with my GPU, I'm just going to go with that.
yeah, I understand. So again, thank y'all for checking your boys out. We appreciate y'all. For the homie Chase. Oh, I meant to tell you one more thing. I was sending out a package today, and I'm not today, yesterday. I was sending out a package yesterday, and a black dude behind me saw where I was sending the package, and I got the side eye of death because I was sending it to a place that just had another racist scandal. And like it's a well documented racist scandal, and like actually there's two big scandals in that one city right now. So a brother that was behind me saw where the package was going, and I got the side eye of death. Like, really, you sending something there? I'm just like, bruh, what is I supposed to do? But yeah, that happened to me yesterday. So roll tide, roll tide.
Roll Tide.
All right, so again, thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. For the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm, and we're out of here. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Laters.